Good evening and welcome to Times News. With me, Alvis Solahoa. First, the headlines. President Chakwera calls for implementation of development projects. Politicians told to stick to campaign promises once voted into office. And in other news, social analysts faults MEC on electoral process. We have these and other stories. Stay with us. Lazarus Chakwera has called for action in the implementation of development projects, pointing out mere rhetoric is killing the nation's development ambitions. Chakwera said this during Reserve Bank of Malawi's 60th anniversary commemorations held at Bingu International Convention Center in Nirongwe. More in this report by Kingsley Jazzy.
President Chakwera hailed the central bank for being resilient in the fight against the prevailing economic drawbacks, stressing that his government will continue to provide necessary support to bring stability. He cited high inflation and shortage of forex as major highlights in recent years of the bank's reign and called for the central bank to ensure it remains relevant in the evolving global economic terrain. In his remarks, the central bank governor, McDonald Mafutamwale, said the bank has taken the opportunity of the anniversary celebration to discuss the economy, and the event attracted top private sector representatives and foreign central bank officials to reflect on how to shape the economy better.
We have been a central bank in Malawi for 60 years. That's not a joke. We have gone through shocks, through challenges, but as I always say, the most beautiful part of the story is that the central bank has really remained resilient on its mandate, which is price and financial stability.
RBM started operations in 1965, taking over from Central Bank of Rhodesia after Malawi's independence, and has been at the helm of financial sector regulation.
Vice President Michael Usi has asked fellow politicians to ensure they adhere to what they promise Malawians during campaign periods. Speaking as president of the Ojazaka Libe Mlando party, Usi lamented the culture of dumping manifestos after winning elections. Chuma Maseko has more in this report read by Samuel Kalimia.
Usi said this during a whistle-stop tour he conducted on Thursday in Mzimba district. He said there is a need to overhaul the civil service as some people are sabotaging the government.
Significant number are sabotaging government programs just because they have some political affiliations and they want to show that government is not performing. It is very important, very critical, that those that are not performing must be dismissed. Those that are stealing must be arrested. And if there are any foreigners that are conniving for Malawians to corrupt or to steal from Malawi, they should be deported.
When asked about the possibility of partnerships ahead of the September 16 elections, Usi said discussions are underway, leaving the door open for potential collaborations. According to the party's organizing secretary, Norman Nyirenda, their focus is on developing effective plans to drive progress and ensure smooth project implementation. Nyirenda noted that most of the projects failed to materialize because of broken government systems that need to be changed.
There's money that is given for several projects, but these projects are still at a standstill. If you follow these things properly, you discover that somebody sitting somewhere in Capitol Hill didn't do his job properly.
Ojazaka Libe Mlando party was registered early last month.
Social commentator Mavuto Bamusi says Malawi Electoral Commission should commence the nomination process after Parliament has been dissolved. This, he says, will create a level playing field for all candidates. Daniel Zimba reports.
Only a few days remain before the Malawi Parliament is dissolved on July 23, ahead of the general elections on September 16, 2025. Deputy Clerk of Parliament, Geoffrey Mwenyeheri, has confirmed that Parliament will be dissolved next week, stressing that even after the dissolution, members of Parliament are still considered in office until they are succeeded after the polls. Commenting on the matter, analyst ILIMAVUTO Bamusi feels the situation creates room for unfair disadvantages, especially in favor of candidates serving as members of Parliament or government ministers.
My suggestion is that there should come a time when we should relook at our electoral laws, such that the elections calendar should happen in a manner that when the parliamentary candidates are going to MEC to collect their nomination papers, that should be the time when the parliament should be dissolved. That should be the time also when cabinet should be dissolved.
MEC officials are yet to comment, but its chairperson Annabel Mtalimanja has previously assured the public that the commission will proceed collecting back nomination papers from aspiring candidates after the parliament's dissolution.
The High Court in Lilongwe says it will deliver its ruling within 60 days in a matter concerning a decision made by the Magistrates Court regarding the leader of the Enlightened Christian Gathering Church, Shepherd Bushiri, and his wife Mary. The South African government wants the two extradited to answer charges bordering on financial crimes. Judge Mzonde Mvula will deliver the judgment. Mercy Matonga reports.
Submitting his arguments in the court, which he said are 15, Kita, among others, voted the ruling by lower court, citing the evidence that was presented as not substantial.
The law requires to give a reasoned decision. So we raised on the number of issues which we raised. You remember we raised the issue about authentication. We raised about the issue of ESA, the issue about whether the witness was competent. She never made a decision on all those issues. When the law requires her to make a decision, a reasoned decision. So we're saying she erred by not doing that. We're saying she erred to make a decision to extradite Mary Bushiri on account of forgery related to immigration offences. When that offence is nowhere found in the extradition docket, we don't know where it is coming from. So and that's the only one which she's answering.
In his arguments, State Advocate Zikondi Malunda said the authenticity of the evidence raised by the defense should not be considered, as the issues pointed out were merely minor errors.
On our part, similarly, you also noticed that in as much as we were asking the High Court to confirm the ruling of the lower court, we also had some parts which we are not comfortable with, and we are also asking the High Court to take into consideration some of those issues that we thought the lower court should have taken into consideration. For example, we can cite maybe the issue of the rape charges. There were some rape charges that were left out by the lower court in its ruling.
The hearing follows a 30-day suspended ruling by High Court Judge Madaritso Chimwaza in the Magistrate Court, who in March this year ruled that out of 10 charges the two were facing, there was sufficient evidence in the 3 cases. Chimwaza ruled that Bushiri should answer rape charges based on the 3 of the 8 complaints, and together with his wife answer the 2 other offences.
Police say they have reduced criminal cases occurring in the Central West region from 6,626 last year to 6,423 in the first half of this year. The police made the announcement on Friday during a stakeholders meeting held in Lilongwe. The region's Deputy Commissioner, Valley Felix Piri, said they're targeting to record less cases with the measures they have put in place.
For Kabaza operators who will be going flat out on the ground, so that we must civic educate them on the need of following the road traffic regulations, so that they must exercise due care for other road users. Otherwise, if they don't exercise due care to other road users, that's why we experience high number of cases concerning the road accidents in terms of Kabaza operators.
Meanwhile, Regional Executive Committee Chairperson for the Central West Region Zone, Alex Chabondera, has asked the police to work without favoritism during the campaign period.
I encourage the police officers to maintain their professionalism, because as much as you know, this period we go for elections is a very crucial period. So I advise the Secretariat to make sure that there is a neutral in all of their endeavors. Because if they are partisan, that means we'll face a very difficult situation.
Malawi is set to take center stage in Africa's water and sanitation sector as it prepares to host the 95th Conference of African Water and Sanitation Association, AFWASA. The high-level conference will be led by Association's Strategic and Technological Council. Our reporter Clever Mwale has the details.
Speaking on Thursday at a media briefing in Lilongwe, Chief Executive Officer of Lilongwe Water Board, ILIMAVUTO, described the conference as a significant platform for Malawi to demonstrate its leadership in climate resiliency and green economy practices within the water sector. He urged both the public and private sectors to seize the chance by participating and sponsoring the event, saying it will open doors for local businesses and professionals to exhibit their services and solutions to a continental audience.
Some of the products we have partnered, as we said, with the other ministries like the Ministry of Trade, where we have SMEs that also be there, showcasing within their pavilions what we as a country can again export. We have these SMEs under the Buy Malawi campaign, so again it's an opportunity for us.
Prince Muleta, who represented the Ministry of Water and Sanitation, believes that the upcoming conference will help Malawi in reaching its sustainable development goals.
See it as an important community and platform for people to showcase ideas and papers which will be shared as we move on with issues of water supply and sanitation, to make sure that service delivery is always at its best.
The AFWASA meeting, which runs under the theme Green Economy and Climate Resilience in Africa, is expected to run from July 21 to 24 at the Bingu International Convention Center in Lilongwe and will host over 200 people from over 20 African countries.
National Bank of Malawi Pension Administration Limited and National Bank Capital Markets Limited have announced that NBM Unrestricted Pension Fund has achieved a 34.5% investment income for the year 2024 against an average inflation of 32% for that year. Officials of the two sister companies, which are subsidiaries of NBM PLC and of Pension Administration and Asset Management Services, revealed this during a pension engagement forum in Lilongwe. Pimpelo Malimba reports.
The National Bank of Malawi Pension Administration Limited Chief Executive Officer William Mabulekese described the achievement as a real return, adding that the unrestricted pension fund is currently at 120 billion kwacha with 108 employers across the country.
I always keep on giving an example of the interchange. Pension funds are located in there. There are buildings mushrooming up in town, in cities. Part of them, there are pension funds located in there because they are long-term in nature. So there is maturity matching long-term and investments of long-term horizon in nature.
National Bank of Malawi Capital Markets Limited Business Development Manager Nenaute Nkuluma said despite the country's market facing high inflation and borrowing rates, the company is geared to grow people's pension funds.
Us as NBM Capital Markets, we make sure that we beat these factors that tend to pull us back and not be able to give you the better returns for your investments.
One of the participants of the seminar, HLO Group Pension Fund Principal Officer John Masanjara, described the seminar as insightful. The seminar, which is an annual event, was aimed at highlighting key pension developments in the just ended year 2024, promoting efficiencies in pension administration and assuring clients of competitive, sustainable investing amid economic uncertainty.
And that's the news. But before we go, the headlines again. President Chakwera calls for implementation of development projects. Politicians chose to stick to campaign promises once voted into office. In other news, social analyst faults MEC on electoral process. My name is Elvis Sohawa. Good evening.